Okay, so picture this. A perfect Roman city, an absolute marvel of engineering, just lost to the world. Now, we all know Pompeii, buried by volcanic ash, right? Well, this city was swallowed whole by the sands of the Sahara. For almost 1,000 years, it was just gone. Hidden and perfectly preserved. This is the incredible story of Timgad.
I mean, just look at this. Here, in what's now Algeria, you have something that just looks impossible. It's a perfectly preserved Roman city literally emerging from the sand. And those streets? The grid is so precise, it looks like it was designed yesterday, not 2,000 years ago. It's just an astonishing sight. A ghost city in one of the most unforgiving landscapes on Earth.
So this just raises a huge question, right? How does a city this advanced, this perfectly organized, just vanish off the map? And even weirder, how did the same desert that erased it also preserve it? Well, to figure that out, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. All right, so before we can even talk about how Timgad was lost, we really need to understand how it was built. Because this wasn't just some random settlement. Oh no, this was a statement. It was as deliberate and strategic as anything Rome ever did.
You see, the city was designed completely from scratch on this perfect orthogonal grid. Think of a checkerboard. It wasn't random at all. It was a total masterpiece of Roman engineering. It was all based on two main roads. The Cardo, which ran north-south, and the Decumanus running east-west. I mean, this was military and urban planning at its absolute peak.
And this really puts into perspective just how ridiculously ahead of its time Timgad was. You know, we think of the modern city grid, we think of places like New York City, but here in the middle of the North African desert, the Romans were basically perfecting that concept almost 2,000 years ago. It's wild.
So the city gets its start back in 100 AD, founded by the Emperor Trajan. Now, on paper, its purpose was to be a retirement colony for army veterans. But there was a much cleverer strategic goal here. The idea was to pacify the local Berber tribes, not with swords and shields, but with the allure of Roman culture and opportunity. It was basically a projection of power by showing them, hey, this is a better way to live.
And you know what? That strategy was a stunning success. What started as this little retirement town for veterans just exploded. In just a few generations, more than 10,000 people were calling Timgad home. It became this thriving, multicultural hub of Romans, Africans, and Berbers, all living together right there at the edge of the empire.
Okay, so we've established that the city was a masterpiece of planning. But what was it actually like to live there? You know, what did daily life feel like so far away from the heart of the Roman Empire?
We'll get this. An incredible inscription found right in the city's main square basically gives us the answer. It's a whole philosophy carved in stone. Hunting, bathing, playing games, and laughing. This is life. I mean, how cool is that? Life here wasn't just about surviving in the desert. It was about pleasure and fun and community. The Romans didn't just build a city, they exported an entire lifestyle. And they had the amenities to back it up. I want you to imagine this. Not one or two, but 14 public bathhouses for hanging out. A theater that could seat 3,500 people. A grand public library, bustling markets, a magnificent triumphal arch. I mean, the whole shebang. This was not some remote, dusty outpost. It was a slice of Rome itself, a true oasis of luxury planted right there in the sand.
And it's the little details that survived that are just so cool. At the entrance to one house, there's this mosaic showing Roman-style flip-flops, and it says "Bene lava," which basically means wash well. It's such a charming human little thing, right? A glimpse into the daily lives of people from almost 2,000 years ago.
But it wasn't just about comfort and fun. Culture and intellect were absolutely central to what Timgad was all about. The public library, which was actually a gift from a wealthy citizen, held thousands of scrolls, everything from history and philosophy to governance. It was a huge testament to the Roman belief in knowledge, even way out here at the edge of the empire.
And the incredible thing is, those stone shelves, they're still standing today. Of course, the scrolls are long gone, but the structure itself is still there.
a really powerful symbol of a culture that valued ideas so much, they literally built monuments just to house them.
But as you can probably guess, this golden age, well, it couldn't last forever. As pressure started mounting, both from inside and out, the very foundations of Timgad, and really of the Roman Empire itself, they began to crack.
You know how these things go. The city's decline was slow, and then it happened all at once. It really started back in the 3rd century with social unrest over things like high taxes. Then came the bigger shocks from the outside. The city was sacked by the Vandals in 430 AD, and that was followed by centuries of raids from local tribes. By the 700s, Timgad was pretty much empty.
And with its people gone, there was nothing left to hold back the Sahara. The desert, which had always been just on the horizon, just slowly crept in. It buried the streets, the temples, the library, everything. Timgad was literally erased from the map and from memory for nearly 1,000 years.
But here's the incredible twist in the story. The very same sand that buried the city also acted as a perfect preservative. It created this amazing time capsule of Roman life. And eventually, the world would find its way back.
So how did it happen? Well, it all starts in 1765 with this Scottish explorer, James Bruce. He stumbles upon these ruins and comes home with these unbelievable stories of a Roman city in the sand. And they were so unbelievable that, well, nobody believed him. It took another 100 years for another guy, Sir Robert Playfair, to follow Bruce's journal and finally confirm the find. After that, excavations began in earnest, and eventually, in 1982, Timgad became a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
And you can just feel the awe in Bruce's journal entry. He called it, quote, a small town but full of elegant buildings. Even half buried, he could see the incredible beauty of what was lying just beneath the surface. Then, a century later, Playfair gets there, and he just instantly sees the potential. He wrote that there was no more promising a field for antiquarian research. He knew this wasn't just another ruin. This was a key that could unlock a whole lost chapter of Roman history.
And so, thanks to their persistence, what people started calling the African Pompeii was finally brought back into the light. A perfectly preserved Roman city, giving us this just unparalleled window into our own past.
It really is a stunning paradox when you think about it. The very force that wiped Timgad off the map is the only reason we can see it so clearly today. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other secrets, what other forgotten cities are still out there, buried just beneath the surface, waiting to be found?